Hi everybody, my name is Kirsty and I'd like to welcome you all to my first knitting, spinning and crochet podcast. First thing I'd like to point out is, if you haven't already noticed, I am Scottish. I come from a wee town west of Glasgow called Greenock. So I apologise now if you find it hard to understand my accent or I come out with a few slang words. If there's any I do use and you'd like to have them explained or just know what the heck I'm saying, please send me a wee message on Ravelry. My Ravelry username is little-b, so send me a wee message in there if there's anything I say that you just have no clue what I have said, so just to kind of cover that topic. I am starting this podcast for a couple of reasons. One, I have just been so motivated and so inspired by the podcast that I've been watching that I really just wanted to start my own. So it's a bit out, I say it's a bit out of my comfort zone, but I mean it's hugely out of my comfort zone. I don't do things in front of the camera because I get pure self-conscious. Like, I can already see my face looks so fat on camera, but hey ho. But one of the reasons I wanted to start this is because I find it really difficult to remember to reply to comments and messages and stuff. If you were to send me a text message, I'd probably read it and then go, right, yep, okay, this is what I'd say back. I don't do it. I don't reply. I put my phone down and I go away and I do things, and it can take me like half an hour to an hour, or in some cases a good couple of days to remember, oh hey, I didn't reply to that, and then send a quick reply going, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and it just becomes a circle. It becomes a never ending loop. So I am trying to break it. So please feel free to send me a message, but please don't be offended if it takes me a couple of days or even just a couple of hours to reply to you. It also doesn't help that when I'm in work I really can't be accessing the internet, so I definitely don't reply during work hours, which is 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, sometimes a Saturday, Sunday. So please don't be offended if I don't reply straight away. But basically, one of the reasons is for starting this podcast is because I do find it quite difficult to go on the forums and follow groups and stuff like that, but please invite me into some. Like, I'm trying to break these habits, so slowly but surely I will get there. But yeah, so I'd like to meet like-minded people that share the same interests and stuff. So people that do spinning, people that do knitting, and especially people that do crochet. I only know a handful of people that do crochet, so I'd really like to kind of get to know more people that do crochet. I am an amigurumi lover. I love to do amigurumi. Here's one of the examples I do. This wee guy is one of mine. My own pattern, my own design. Super cute. Woo! So I love amigurumi. I do all sorts. I do pugs, sausage dogs, penguins, cats. I even did a Triceratops. 2 seconds and I'll get it. This is my wee Triceratops. How awesome is that? This is not my pattern, and I'll dig out the pattern for next time and give credit where credit is due, because it's a fantastic pattern. So I do a whole bunch of amigurumi, but I also do, like, I started doing a crochet blanket because my friend Trishy actually sat me down and was just like, right, this is how you do a granny square. Believe it or not, I can do amigurumi, I can do magic loop, no, magic ring, but I cannot make a granny square. But now I can, thanks to my friend Trishy. Yay! So credit where credit's due. Trishy taught me how to make a granny square. And this pattern, I will find out the designer and I will give credit where credit is due. So, I would love to meet like-minded people that love to kind of get out of their comfort zone, challenge themselves as well. This is a huge challenge for me. I really want to keep this going as long as you guys can put up with me, and see where we're doing podcasts and making these videos take me. So that's kind of covering the reasons why I would like to do these podcasts, and now we're going to move on to works in progress. What happened is I done crochet so much this year that I've only picked up my needles in the last week. For the whole of 2015, I've only been knitting for the last week. I've been knitting for years, please don't get that confused with that one, but for this year alone I've only knitted for about a week. So the project I'm working on at the moment is called the Maple Leaf Shawl. It is a gorgeous pattern. I started it over a year ago, and I'd say I got about halfway through before I put it down and then eventually put it away. It went into one of my cupboards and it's only just found light again. So here is the pattern. I got this free in a magazine called The Knitter. Here's a better picture. There we go. So it looks like a maple leaf, hence Maple Leaf Shawl. It came with The Knitter magazine, which is a UK based magazine, so I'm not sure if American podcasters will know what I'm on about or be able to get access to it. So it's called the Maple Leaf Shawl and it's by Maria Magnusson. Sorry, not only can I just not read it because of the paper, but the font itself is pretty hard to read. So Maria, thank you for your pattern, it is stunning. Here is the progress. So I'm on line 81 of 91, so I'm nearly finished. Whole bunch of yarn overs, meant to look like a leaf. There we go, there's the best one to show you. Meant to look like a leaf. Oh, it looks so much better when it's blocked, I promise. But the one thing I want to hit on, how good are lifelines? Like, oh my god, how good are lifelines? There you go, you can see it better there. I messed up my knitting on Christmas Day. I was sat watching a movie with my mum, and instead of doing knit one yarn over, knit one yarn over, knit one yarn over, I done an SK2P. Yep, don't know how. I think it's I just got confused with the pattern because that is like the next part, and didn't notice for about a line and a half, a row and a half, and I tried to fix it a row and a half later and just made it worse. So tinkered back, and when I say tinker I mean stitch by stitch. I never take the full thing off the needle and then just frog it. I'm too scared, I can't do it. So I tinkered back each stitch at a time and finally fixed it. And my mum's like, right, put in a lifeline. I thought those things were just there to annoy you and that it was going to cause more hassle than it was worth, but oh my god, the lifeline is a lifeline. Believe it or not. I haven't had to use it yet, touch wood, but knowing it's there helps a bit. I'm hoping I'll still not have to rip back and fix anything, because I don't want to. Ripping back anything is hard enough as it is. But the wool itself, there's a wee bit of a halo to it and it's going to cause issues ripping back. Talking of the yarn, here it is. There's an extra skein I have of it. Look at that colour, I mean, isn't that stunning? The lace itself, the wool itself, is Drops lace, and it is baby alpaca and mulberry silk, and it is exactly 70% alpaca and 30% silk. It's a 100-gram skein, which is exactly 800 meters. So there's a good amount in there. I mean, like, there's loads. Sorry, you're not focusing. So that is my current work in progress. I have 2 other shawls on the go, but I'm determined not to touch them until I get that one finished, because I mean I've got 10 rows left to do. So I'm going to get that one finished and then I'm going to jump back and pick up the others, and then I might cast on something else, who knows, we'll see. So that's that one out of the way. I let myself, when I say I let myself go this year, that's not anything to do with my weight. I stopped being as creative As I've said, I didn't pick up my knitting this entire year, but my spinning took an even bigger hit. I haven't used my spinning wheel in about 2 years, nearly 2 years exactly, and that was nothing more to do with the fact that I just had no motivation, no inspiration, and I was just too damn lazy. Let's just be honest, I was just too lazy. So after watching some of your fantastic podcasts, I have just been so inspired that I picked up my needles and I got out my spinning wheel. So this is what I've been working on. Excuse the rattling. I've been working on one called Black Forest Gateau by the Border Tarts, and here's what it looks like. Let's see if I can get a wee bit. Now the colours might not come up fantastic because I've totally lost the light from outside, so I'm just using a wee light beside me. So there's some purple there, some kind of rustic orange, some brown, a wee bit of red, some white. There we go, that's a wee bit better there. It's 100% merino. It's so soft and it's just really nice to spin with. So this is my progress so far. Here we go. Maybe not the best colour coming up, but that is what I've got so far and I am loving it. I'm loving being back in spinning. It's something I can do whilst I'm watching the television or I'm watching my podcasts, and I can just zone out and I can relax. It's something that's always relaxed me after a hard day, or like chilled me out if I'm feeling pure upset or anything like that. So a wee bit more, like, I've had that roving for about 3 years and I was kind of saving it up and stuff like that, and at no point did I ever notice that what it says on the front is a piece of cake, 100 grams of the Border Tart special blend of pure wool, pure merino shades, and a recipe for the real thing. At no point have I noticed that, so when I opened it up I got a bit of a surprise when all of a sudden a recipe for a Black Forest Gateau fell into my lap. So that is a full-blown recipe that I've now dropped on the floor. Sorry guys. That is a full recipe for a Black Forest Gateau, so you never know, after spinning it all I might actually make a Black Forest Gateau. But I'm not the best baker in the world, so we'll see how that goes. So that's my spinning. So like I say, I've got one knitting project on the go, one spinning project on the go right now, and I'm going to leave it like that until I've got them both finished, and then I might pick up another and then maybe continue another as well, so I have maybe two projects each on the go, but we'll see. I do have one fasten off that I've finished in the last week, and I think I finished it off because it is, I think it's iron weight wool, which to America is worsted, I think. So here is a slouchy hat I made. It is made in Rowan tweed, or Rowan, I'm not really sure how it's meant to be said, but I say Rowan for some reason. So it's Rowan tweed. I was running low on the grey, so I thought I'll jump in and make a pink, and then I realised I still had quite an amount of grey left, so I made a few more rows, and then I decided to do all my decreases in pink. I kind of made it up as I went along, I'm not going to lie, so I divided my stitches by 4, and then I decreased every row, so there's no recovery rows, I want to call it. There's no row that's knit all the way around, it's all decrease, decrease, decrease right to the end. So it's a bit of a kind of a flat end, but it's so slouchy, it's so warm, and it's so soft as well. I thought it'd be quite itchy on the forehead, but it's not. It's really nice and soft and really warm as well. So that's my only fasten off this week, or FO I think you guys call it. Which to me sounds really rude. It sounds like you're trying to swear at someone, but you're not. You don't want to swear, so because I'm Scottish. We're quite big on swearing up here. Well, most of us are. So it's like kind of second nature. So if you say FO to someone, it sounds a lot worse. So that's all my projects I'm going to show you guys for this week. I have no stash love or stash acquisition. I'm a wee bit, I'm not embarrassed by the stash I have, but I have a horrific amount of acrylic yarn, and that's purely because I do so much amigurumi. I mean, I would not want to make these guys in pure wool or bamboo or merino or cashmere. I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, after all, they sit on a shelf or they get dropped in mud or they get dirty, and I'm not doing it. I can't bring myself to be that person that makes ornaments and presents that are not going to be appreciated properly by an adult. These are designed at younger people, and they have no idea the difference between merino and acrylic. Come on. So I don't do it. So I have an unhealthy amount of acrylic yarn in my stash at the moment. I'd say about 80% of it is acrylic and 20% is nicer stuff. But I don't have any to show you guys. I might get some ready for next time. I do have some yarn coming to me. I was on Knitpic's website after finding out they post to the UK now, and I ended up buying myself 6 skeins of sock yarn, and spent about £46, so that's going to take a bit of a hit to my purse strings, but oh well, it will be utterly worth it because it's all for me. It's all going to be a treat and I deserve it. It's the first non-acrylic wool I've bought in a long time, and I got one really out of my comfort zone. I got a yellow, and I'm not a yellow person. The only yellow item I own is a Pikachu hoodie, and yeah, Pikachu from Pokemon, and that's the only yellow thing I own. Most of my colours are teals or reds, or purples even, so yellow is really out of my comfort zone. So if you guys have any recommendations about what I can make with yellow yarn, I'm thinking maybe a shawl, but if you guys have any recommendations, I'd be really thankful for them. So no stash love, no stash acquisitions or whatever you guys want to call it, nothing like that at all. I am actually on a yarn or wool ban. This kicked in this morning because I bought the wool last night. So the ban kicked in this morning until I can use up at least 30%, or a third of what I've got, because I really want to get to Edinburgh Yarn Festival in March. So I have 2 months and 2 weeks to use up a third of what I've got. So it's going to be a lot of crocheting and a lot of knitting. But I can do it. I can totally do it. Maybe. But I'll still go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival and I will still spend an absolute fortune. But that's not the point. I need to use up what I've got. So time will tell if I get that done. But moving on to the next part of what I want to get talking about, which is other podcasts that I have been watching, podcasts that have motivated me and inspired me. So the first one I'm going to talk about is James from DancingGeek. I am utterly loving his podcast at the moment, but I've only got so far. I've gone to episode 1 and started watching from there. So no spoilers, please, no spoilers, not until I've caught up. I'm deliberately not going into the forum that he's got going in Ravelry. I have joined the group, but I'm not going into the forum because I don't want to read any spoilers or see anything until I'm caught up. I will get back onto that forum and have a nosy, but right now I need to get caught up on all the episodes. I am loving DancingGeek's podcast because it's such a mix of everything. There is humour, there is things that make me sad. Nothing's made me angry, so I don't think it's a total mix of like emotions and stuff, but episode 3 really hit me hard. It really called home to some of the things that have happened in his life and the things that have happened in my life. I love the mixture of projects. I love his obsession with orange. I think that is absolutely adorable. Because it kind of reminds me of my dad. My dad's obsessed with orange as well. If you get a packet of Jelly Babies, which is sweets here in the UK, if you get an orange one, you need to give it to my dad. So kind of reminds me of that. but I love the mixture of everything he's got going on and how eccentric he is. So if you guys get a chance to check that out, that would be brilliant, because I think unless you're one of these people that really just don't like humour, and I really don't think there's that many people in the world that don't like humour, you're going to love his podcast. They're fantastic. My next one is Vero from Along the Lanes, or That Canadian Girl on Instagram. So check out Along the Lanes. I love these podcasts because they're so different. I mean, she done a podcast for a yarn crawl she went on in London. She took some video shots when she was back in Canada, and she done an interview with Stephen West. I mean, there's such a variation there, it's unbelievable, it's fantastic. She even done a podcast where she was cooking. I thought that was brilliant. I mean, I can't cook for hell, but I mean, it made me want to get in the kitchen and start cooking, and I don't even like chilli. That's what she was making, by the way. So yeah, I really love her podcasts. I have stash envy when it comes to Along the Lanes podcast. Vero has one of the most amazing stashes I've seen in a long time. There is just wool galore in her podcasts and in her collection as well, because you can see her cabinet and it's just wool and fibre. And I have total and utter stash envy, like, not kidding, serious stash envy going on right now. And it was Vero that told everyone about picnics, and that's what made me go on the website and treat myself, so thank you. If you're watching, I doubt it, but thank you. It made me finally treat myself to some sock wool that probably will not be for socks. But my next podcast that I'm really enjoying is actually the first podcast I ever watched. I literally just put in knitting podcast when I was in work one day to have it playing in the background whilst I'd done my work, and YarnGasm came up, and I could not believe the name. I was like, right, okay, and started watching, and Kristin is just fantastic. I love the fact that her work is so varied, that she is an indie dyer, that she's managed to do what she loves as a living. So she quit her day job and then just became a crafter for a living, and I'm so jealous because I would love to do that, but it's just not on the cards for me right now. I love all her sewing as well. Her project bags are fantastic. I would love a project bag like what she makes. And in one episode that I've seen, she made her Halloween costume, and it was just fantastic. I had sewing envy, but that's probably because I've not touched my sewing machine in about a year or two, and I'd love to take a sewing class, but again, not on the cards. But I think her videos are fantastic, and I can only go so far. Hey, sorry about that. Apparently I can only film for so long before it cuts off and I have to start again. But as I was saying, Kristin from YarnGasm was the first podcast I started watching, and the variation of her work is fantastic, and I have craft room envy. Like, she has a craft room. I have a bedroom. This is my bedroom. And her stuff is just fantastic. I would love to be able to craft for a living, but like I said before this cut off, it's just not in the cards for me right now. Maybe one day it would be an ultimate dream. But her podcasts were the first ones I watched, and the name totally grabbed me. I'm not gonna lie, it was the name that made me watch it. And I can only go so far back because my YouTube will only let me load up so many of her videos. So she's got about 174 episodes, and I think I could only go back as far as about 120, maybe slightly further, but not by many. So I am slowly catching up with all of these. I try and go as far back as I can and get up to date. And all three of them have inspired me so much. And if you can recommend any podcasts, I would really appreciate it. Send me a message on Ravelry or direct message me on Instagram. Point me in the right direction of who to have a listen to or who to watch. If I'm in work, I just listen to them. If I'm at home, I watch them. So if you guys can send me some links or even just the names of podcasters, that'd be fantastic. And I can maybe delve a little deeper, because a lot comes up when you type in knitting podcast into YouTube. So if you could recommend something, I would really appreciate it. Up next, I'm going to cover what I'd like to call knitting resolutions. So basically think of your New Year's resolutions, but you're not going to break them, you're actually going to stick to them, and change it to your knitting resolutions. So in 2016, I'm going to give myself 3 things first, and then once I've completed those 3, I'll think up new ones. So the first one on my list is colour work. I don't really do colour work. If I do, it's normally like one colour, one colour, one colour, one colour. I want to actually do like strand colour work. I have started a pair of Totoro mittens about 3 times, 2, maybe 3 times, and I've got the cuff, so there's one colour around the bottom of the cuff, and then like ribbing for so much in one colour, and then the pattern starts, and it's there that I start having difficulties. I am a very tight knitter, and doing the strands and like carrying the colour over and catching the colour, it's difficult to do. It's really difficult for me to get my head around, and to not pull so tight, and to not be a tight knitter in general, that I have really struggled with colour work. I'm pretty sure I bought a class on Craftsy about colour work, so I'm gonna jump back into that once things have calmed down here, and I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna have those mittens made by the end of this year, preferably earlier, but you never know. So I'm gonna have those mittens done by the end of 2016 for definite. Another resolution is actually this podcast. I wasn't going to start this podcast until 2016, which I get is alright. It's only a few days away, but still, I wasn't going to start it until 2016. But I was just so excited and so impatient to start this that I brought it early. I brought it forward a few days, and then I had camera issues. This is about the 5th time I've tried to record this today. I have lost all light outside because I am right by a window. I am now using a tiny, very bright LED light. So this is another resolution of mine. I want to continue this throughout 2016 if you guys don't think my videos are too bad. So let me know what you think. Please be kind. So yeah, along with the colour work and along with this podcast, socks is actually on my list. I have made 1 pair of socks, and this is one of them. I think the wool is Regia sock wool. I done the reinforced heel, I done the Kitchener stitch toe, and they're nice, they're comfortable. I never blocked them, please don't hate me for that, please don't get me into trouble. I don't have sock blockers, I don't know where you can buy them from, so if anyone in the UK can point me in the right direction of sock blockers, I would be very, very grateful. But yeah, socks is on my list of things to do because they're so comfy. Knitted socks are so comfy. They take a while, but they're one of those projects where you can just kind of mindlessly get on with it and watch a television programme or continue on a conversation whilst just, you know, knitting and talking, knitting and watching. So socks is definitely on my list. And then the last one for this year is going to be a jumper or a pullover. I like some of the patterns I'm seeing in Ravelry, but most of them just have a button up here, like here at the top, and then it's open the rest of the way down, and it's loose and it can fly and stuff. I say fly, it can flap open, and I don't like that. I like buttons all the way down. But I've never made a buttonhole before, so I think I should start with like a pullover, something simple. Like, I don't know, top down or something. If you guys can point me in the right direction for a beginner's jumper or a beginner's pullover, I'd appreciate that a lot. I'm asking a lot of help here, but one knitter to another, one crocheter to another. I will help where I can if you can help. If guide me in the right direction, that would be fantastic. So, colour work, socks, pullover jumper, and then secretly there's a 4th one, which is this podcast. So those are my knitting resolutions. What do you guys have as your knitting resolutions for 2016? Let me know. Send me a wee message or leave a comment below. Let me know somehow and we can bring that up in the next video, because I'd like to know that I'm not the only one making knitting resolutions. I have life resolutions as well. One of them was going to be go to the gym, but I prefer my home workouts. I've got my weights here and stuff like that, but the gym's got more machines that I can use. Another one is to get more organised. I have a Filofax, and I'm actually going to use it. I've had about 5 in the past and I don't use them. So this, I'm actually going to use this Filofax and I'm going to get more organised and I'm going to write more things down so I don't forget, because my memory is horrendous. I have the memory of a goldfish. Say one thing, straight out the other ear. Can't remember it. So, where was I? Ha! See? So, I have a few life resolutions, but I'm really kind of focusing on my creative resolutions for this year, and that's just to be more creative, try more things, get out of my comfort zone. If that's the patterns I'm choosing or the colours of the yarn I'm choosing, then so be it. It's out of my comfort zone. I am trying new things and I'm going to love it and it's going to be fun. So here's to 2016 being an awesome year. Excuse me. The last thing I'm going to talk about before I let you guys go, thank you for watching this far, is the fact that I am going to be a godmother this year. My best friend is going to be giving birth in June, and I'm going to have to start knitting baby things. So again, out of my comfort zone. I don't knit baby things, and there's a reason. I'm not around babies. I don't know how big they are, so if I start knitting something, I'm like, oh my god, this is too small. And then I remember, I actually know babies are pretty small. So I'm going to be knitting quite a few baby things and I look forward to showing you guys them. You can let me know what you think. We have no idea what the sex is yet. I say we, it's like I'm the dad, but I'm not. I'm going to be the godmum and I am going to be the best damn godmum in the world. But if you guys have any baby recommendations as well, that'd be fantastic. Baby pattern recommendations. That sounds so wrong, but it's going to be interesting because, again, I do have that fear when I'm knitting baby things that it's too small, and then you remember that they are small. They're very petite. So that is the last thing I have on my very pathetic show notes. I mean, this is what I have. That's it. That is literally all I've got. But it's my first video, so I will get better. My notes will get nicer. I will have nicer things to show you. Hopefully more like finished projects. Hopefully more works in progress, because I do want to cast, like, I have itching cast on needs. I want to cast on so many things, but I am determined to get what projects I have started finished. So that'll be interesting to see if that works out. So I'm going to leave this here, say goodbye, and thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my first video. Let me know what you guys think. Again, on Ravelry I am little-b, on Instagram I'm littlebkirsty. So yeah, let me know what you think. I hope you can understand my accent. I realise us Scots talk very quickly, so apologies if that is what's happened here. So yeah, if you've got any recommendations about patterns or what I can do with yellow wool, that's the big one here, people, let me know. Send me a wee message, say hi, let me know that this video is not absolutely outrageous, and please go check out those podcasters. Again, that was DancingGeek, Along the Lanes, and YarnGasm. Those are some of the best ones. Like, they're not the, that sounds horrible, I was going to say they're not, but they are. They're the ones that I've watched the most, and they're the ones that have so far inspired me. So if you guys have any other recommendations, please let me know. I'm new to all this. I've been watching podcasts for about a week. This is the first podcast I've made. So yeah, like, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any recommendations. Again, the yellow wool, please help. Can't believe I bought yellow wool. But let me know, and I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys!